Hello, guys, all over the world, or at least in the United States or Canada. How are you guys doing today? My name is Daniel Wiafi, and I am the president and the owner of Prenups Inc., also known as Prenups for Guys. We are a document preparation firm that prepares prenuptial agreements in the United States and Canada for guys that are high net worth. They own their own businesses. They are medical, legal professionals, and they want to make sure that before they get married, that they are fully protected. All right. So I want to talk about 3 tips on why you should consider getting a prenuptial agreement before you get married. All right. So if you're engaged, if you are betrothed, this is definitely a video that you want to watch, because if you don't watch it, it may cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in the long run in case things go sour in your marriage. That being said, you guys, make sure you like this channel, this page, this video, share it. Go ahead and talk with me on the comments on this video as well. I love to talk to men all across the country and make sure that we help you guys, all right? And also visit our website at prenupsforguys.com, all right? But what we are going to do real quickly, gentlemen, is we are going to bring up my whiteboard. So I love my trusty whiteboard. It lets me take a lot of notes, all right? So again, you guys, we are discussing the 3 reasons. Now, there's not just 3 reasons why you should get a prenuptial, but we're talking about 3 of the main reasons why men who are higher echelon, who have businesses especially, who have investments especially, if you have property especially, if you have a high income especially, and you're going to get married, guys, you need a prenuptial agreement, okay? And again, this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. We are document preparers, so we can't give you legal advice. But all I can tell you is common sense stuff, okay? And common sense says that you need a prenuptial before you get married, okay? Matter of fact, you guys, let me just tell you a story which is near and dear to my heart, okay? So I've been married, and you can see my lovely wife right here, all right? So we've been together for about 21 years, all right? And things are going great, all right? And the thing is, you guys, I don't see that marriage going anywhere. And at the end of the day, if you'll be truthful with yourself, you don't see your marriage going anywhere either, okay? Because you just got engaged and you love this girl and you're like, I'm gonna build a future with her. We're gonna have kids. We're going to have all these properties and houses and build business and make a lot of money, have a lot of good nucky ducky and all that, right? And very rarely do we think about what are the ramifications that could happen in case things go sour, okay? Now, my big brother, my older brother, he recently went through a divorce about a year and a half ago, all right? And he has a very beautiful daughter, my little niece, and he basically got taken to the cleaners, okay? He's 50 years old, and I'm 41 years old at the time of the recording of this video. And basically, he wound up having to pay, I believe, about $130,000 out of his retirement account to his ex. And I believe child support about $1,000 a month, even though they have joint physical custody. And then he also had spousal support payments, which I believe were another $1,000. And then additionally, he had to refinance the home and give her equity out of his property. And I believe that wound up being maybe another $100,000. And so, all in all, you guys, she was able to walk away with nearly $250,000, and as well as the residual payments for spousal support. Okay. Now, fair is fair. Okay. And I'm not even going to argue about what's fair or not. Okay. And you being a man, all right, you want to take care of your spouse. Okay, I understand that. But at the end of the day, you guys, and I don't think I need to tell you, any of you this, guys typically get screwed in the court system. Okay, am I right or am I right? All right, so if your marriage is failing and you have to go through a divorce, if you and your soon to be ex wife or ex partner are not in agreement with how you're going to divide your assets, your property, your things of value, your businesses, investments, whatnot, guess what? The court at the end of the day in most states, because most states are community property states, meaning that if there is disagreement in regards to the assets at the time of divorce, what the judge will do is he or she will split the process, the assets down the middle, the value of it, and then she gets half, you get half. Okay, your partner gets half, you get half. All right. Now, this is fair if your spouse brings her half to the table. Okay, so let's say you're making a high amount of money. Okay, let's pretend and say that you're making $100,000 a year. Okay, and she's making $100,000 a year. Okay, let's say you have two properties and she has one property or two properties. Let's say things are pretty much for the most part equal. Okay, now if the court splits your property down the middle 50-50, okay, that's fair, right? Even if you brought 60% of the value to the table and she only brought 40%, okay, 50-50, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, okay? But the problem, gentlemen, and I need y'all to get close to me, is if you get to a place where you come to the marriage and you have brought 90% or 95% of the value, the fiscal, the economic value to the marriage, and she only brings 5 or 10%, and then they split it down the middle. Okay? That's no bueno. You do not want to get caught playing that game, guys. I mean, trust me, all right? And the facts really are the facts, okay? And I'm bringing my whiteboard up and we're going to talk facts. All right. So look, 3 main reasons why men need prenuptials. All right. Now, if you're broke and you don't plan on being anything, you don't need a prenuptial. Okay. And again, this is not legal advice. This is just advice from fellas to fellas. All right. But reason number 1, you guys, is this. Okay. Marriages typically end up in divorce. All right. And I hate to say this, guys, but they do. All right. And so I'm not trying to scare you off, but they typically do. So slightly over 50% of first marriages end in divorce. With your second divorces, you guys, slightly over 67% of second marriages end in divorce. Now, let's say you're that lucky third timer and you get a divorce, right? 74% of third marriages end in divorce. Okay. And it keeps going up from there with each insinuating marriage that you have. Okay. Now, look, you guys, I'm not trying to scare you and tell you that you shouldn't get married, okay? Because let's look at businesses. All right. I believe 80% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years. Okay. So that's not saying that, oh, well, hey, because 4 out of 5 businesses fail in the first 5 years, you shouldn't start a business. All right. No, because if you're uh, the 20% of businesses that are able to survive the first 5 years, then you're going to be handsomely rewarded. Okay. And the same is true with marriage. Okay. If you are part of, let's say this is your second marriage, right? And so we know that 67% of second marriages end in divorce. Okay. Now, that's not saying that you're going to be part of that 67%. All right. You could definitely be part of that 33% of marriages, or that 1 out of 3 marriages that are second marriages, that it's a beautiful marriage. You guys are married for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Everything is blissful and all that. And this is the best thing that could have ever happened to you in your life. Okay. But at the end of the day, you guys, you have to protect yourself and you have to think intellectually. Okay. Think with this head and not just that head. Okay. You have to think logically. You spent your time building up your business. You spent your time accruing assets, be it investments, be it stocks, be it crypto, be it whatever the case is, real estate, it doesn't matter. Okay. You need to protect your finances. All right. Because you may have kids that you want to leave an inheritance to. Okay. And wouldn't it be a shame if things were to go sour or south in your marriage after you get married, and let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, it were to end in divorce? You need to protect yourself. Okay. It's almost like you can view having a prenuptial agreement, you guys, as having marriage insurance or divorce insurance. Okay. Because could you imagine if you got into a car and 50% of the time you got into a car wreck? Could you imagine that? But yet we have car insurance, don't we? And we may not have a car wreck for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Okay. I haven't been in a car accident in maybe 15 years, I believe. And it wasn't my fault. Okay. The last time I got into a car wreck that was my fault, it only happened one time. And that literally was in 1999 or 98. So, I mean, it was literally what is that, 23, 24 years ago. I can't even do the math in my head. Okay. But yet I have car insurance. I'm paying, I don't even know what I'm paying for my car insurance, but I have car insurance to protect myself from that. Right. Now, let's say like two times out of 3 times you step outside, okay, you get hit by a car, okay, and you end up in the hospital and you need health insurance to cover your medical bills. Okay, could you imagine that? You step out of your house and 2 times out of 3 times you get hit by a car, beep beep, pop, and it just hits you. You end up in traction with casts, broken bones, torn spleen, whatever. Okay, could you imagine that? Okay, but yet we make sure that we pay for our health insurance, don't we? Or could you imagine this? If 74% of the time there was a thunderstorm and it hailed, and like you got all the windows shattered out of your house, or you had your roof damaged by hail, all right? And you had to get a new roof, all right? A new roof is going to run you what, 15, 20, $30,000 on up, okay? But that doesn't really happen, does it? But yet we have house insurance, okay? So we have insurance, you guys. We have insurance to protect us, okay? And our money and what we have accrued, okay? Because you spent all this time building up an empire. So why would you not pay a little bit of money as an investment to protect your larger investment, okay? So why don't we do that in our marriages, man? All right. Why would you go in and you have a net worth of, let's say, 100,000 or 200,000, 500,000? Some of you guys, especially if you have properties, especially if you have businesses, some of you guys have net worths which go past 2 million, 5 million, $10 million. Okay. And yet you don't protect that when you get married, and the odds are stacked against you. And if you go into a court system, all right, and let's say you're one of those 50% of marriages, first time marriages that end in divorce, or one of those 67% of marriages that end in divorce, or 74% of third marriages that end in divorce, you just go in there blindfolded, you bring a knife to a gunfight, and you wonder why you got screwed. Okay, at the end, you're crying to your friends and saying, man, she got me. Okay, I lost half of all my money. Okay, I lost half of all my retirement money. Okay, we also own a divorce business out here in Las Vegas, and I was speaking with a guy, and he's Air Force, and he's stationed out in Germany, and he's a couple years younger than I am. He's 39 years old, and he's been enlisted in the military for 19 years. So next year it's going to be 20 years, and he's going to be able to retire. Okay. And he was just so thankful that he's able to get the divorce, and his wife was not asking for half of his retirement plan, which she definitely could have. Okay. And this guy literally had, I believe, 200 or close to $300,000 in his retirement plan. Okay. Now, could you imagine that? You know, if she was greedy, she could have gotten half of his retirement plan, guys. Okay. Protect yourself, you guys. Don't do dingy stuff, okay? Please, all right? So make sure, you guys, there's a link below this video, you guys. Fill out the form, you guys. Get a free assessment consultation with us. It's free. We'll talk about where you're at with your assets and see if a prenuptial agreement is for you or not, okay? But if you have a lot of money, finances, you definitely need to take care of business, okay? Don't do dingy stuff, okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that, okay? Investment wise, and this is number two, the second reason why you should get a prenup is investment wise, it's worth it, okay? Because look, when it comes to the things that we pay money for, right? When you look at your typical wedding, all right, so you're planning a typical wedding, maybe it's down there in Jamaica or the Bahamas, all right, but weddings can get expensive. You got the photographer, you got wedding dresses, you got cakes, you have a wedding planner, videography, the officiant that you have to pay, entertainment, yada yada, rings, whatever, okay? But a typical wedding, you guys, is gonna run you about $25,000, okay? That's safe to say, all right? Now, your typical wedding ring, right, that you buy for your wife, you know, us guys, we we don't need nothing extensive. Look, this is my little cheap wedding ring, right? But you know, your your wife, she ain't gonna want no cheap ring, okay? And you're not gonna want to give her a cheap ring either. You're gonna want to get her some carrots. Now, I'm not talking about the orange one, but that may run you about $6,000-7,000, okay? Right? So we're spending all this money for our wedding, okay, for one day, all right? But how come we're not planning on the what if? Your typical prenuptial agreements, gentlemen, all right? And it's going to protect you from losing half of your money and your assets. It's typically going to be less than $2,500. Okay. Now, all I'll say is this, guys, okay? If you can get a good prenuptial agreement, and it's going to be less than $2,500, all right? In most cases, it can be way less than $2,500, okay? Is that not worth you protecting your business? Is that not worth it so that you can make sure that if the worst case scenario happens to you in your marriage, that your wife doesn't get half your business or have to force you to sell your business or have to, you know, become a part owner with you and have the decisions, okay? Like your business would maybe bringing you in $500,000, $1 million a year, okay? Maybe bringing you in 10 million a year, okay? Is that worth it to you, okay? For the investment of getting a good prenuptial agreement, your retirement plan, your investments that you have, your 401k plans that you have, your pensions that you have, all right? Is that worth it? Okay. Properties, maybe you have 3, 4, 5 properties and you're heavily involved in the real estate game. Okay. Is that worth it? Okay. Fair is fair, guys. Okay. And, maybe you want to make sure you take care of your wife. And so maybe you say, okay, hey, I'm a good guy. If we do get divorced, honey, I'm willing to give you $500 a month spousal support for the next 2 years, 3 years, or until you get remarried. I'm fine with that. Or maybe you say to yourself, okay, I'm willing to give you 25% of my assets or 10% of my assets, or I'm able to do this or that with you. Okay. But at the end of the day, you guys, you can get as creative and as precise with your prenuptial agreement as you want. Okay. And again, you need to get your prenuptial agreement before you get married, because there's no reason for her to sign the prenuptial agreement if she is married to you. Okay. If she is married to you, you're locked down. She got you. Okay. That's why a lot of these women, when they get married to guys, especially high net worth guys, okay, I'm talking about your business owners, your sports people, your doctors, your lawyers, physicians, engineers, people that are upper echelon. Okay. When women get with guys, they already know what's going on. Okay, trust me, their mothers have already told them, "Hey, this is the deal." Okay, that's why many women, you don't see them getting with broke guys. Okay, so that's the second thing. All right, and the third and the last thing, you guys, is again, it just keeps things fair. Okay, so most of the guys that are our clients that we do prenuptial agreements for, they're not greedy. Okay. Again, they're not trying to say, okay, well, yeah, just because I make most of the money, I don't want you to have anything, wife, if we should get divorced. Okay. Most of you guys that are watching this will want to take care of your wife to whatever degree. You just want to keep things fair. You just want to make sure that you're not screwed, which, I mean, that's fair. Okay. Fair is fair. Okay. So, you guys, I could go on and on with this video, but I'm not. Okay. All of you gentlemen that are watching this video all know somebody that has gotten screwed before. That was a guy and they were married to a woman and she divorced him and she got him. Okay. She got him. You guys know what I mean when I say got him. Okay. She got him. All right. Good. Okay. And don't be that guy. Okay. We all know somebody that may be a brother or an uncle, a friend, a colleague, somebody maybe that you used to go to college with, somebody. Okay. We all know guys that have gotten taken to the cleaners. Okay. And you owe it to yourself, you guys, if you are going to get married soon, to not be part of that statistic. Okay. Don't allow yourself to get taken to the cleaners. Okay. Schedule your free consultation with us on whether a prenuptial agreement is good for you or even something for you to consider. Go to the link that's below this video or go to prenupsforguys.com. Prenupsforguys.com will get you a free consultation and assess you. And then we'll make sure that we take care of you guys. Okay. So again, Daniel Wiafi, prenupsforguys.com. Peace and God bless, gentlemen.